On our first trip to Italy and a week in Sardinia, we spent a few nights in Rome. I had no idea what to expect in Rome, and it was mind-blowing. The trip started out as a surprise getaway for my bride so we could celebrate our anniversary. I wanted it to be a culinary journey, so I made a few reservations in advance at the top restaurants. Everyone I had spoken to had said that Rome is magical. The architecture and history is overwhelming. Here is what I would do. Rome is really tough to spend time in for any extended period of time. It's like walking around in the metaverse. There's way too much to see, and if you want to really understand the history behind the architecture, it is information overload. We did a semi-private 4-hour tour of the Vatican, and that in itself could easily take up at least 3 days for a history buff. There is so much behind the Vatican, why it is filled with pagan statues, and the history behind Catholicism, the Sistine Chapel, and the Dome of St. Peter's Basilica. Trip to Rome with the Vatican being the only tour is enough and almost too much to absorb on its own. Not knowing this, the next day we also did a private tour of the Coliseum and the Roman Forum. I can easily do a whole video just on the Coliseum. I learned so much about Roman history. Did you know that the Coliseum offered free food and drink to almost 85,000 people each day? Why? Because the emperor was trying to show the strength and abundance of the Roman Empire to neighboring people so that they could expand the empire. How did they pay for all of this extravagance? The same way we pay for the free room and board in casinos. Gambling. That's right, the Coliseum was the first casino. As Rome conquered countries, they picked the most prized warriors to battle against each other. Gladiators had to train for 3 years before entering the arena. And like professional wrestlers today, the crowd had favorites. So based on the betting odds and the pleasure of the crowds, whether or not a favorite gladiator survived was determined by popular vote and declared by the emperor. 45 degrees, thumbs up, meant survival, and a jab to the jugular meant nighty-night. If a gladiator survived 10 fights, they were given their freedom and declared citizens of Rome. This is why they would willingly fight each other to the death. I got curious, how do 85,000 people go to the bathroom? They had these troughs filled with flowing water. Cleanup was a communal sponge on a stick, which was the main source of communicable diseases, contributing to the average lifespan of just 40 years at the time. Oh, and by the way, the quirky no toilet seat / toilet paper phenomena in Sardinia, it's also in Rome. It must be a nod to the ancient toilets in the Coliseum. As you walk through the many amazing piazzas or squares, you actually become immune to the architecture. As we wandered, we were like, oh, the Pantheon. We stumbled upon it by accident. Our hotel was in the Piazza of Campo de Fiore. It was one of my favorite piazzas where talent alone could have entertained us for an entire day. Now, if you choose not to tour the historical sites in Rome, which is kind of impossible because you'll walk through them, it is amazing for the food and the shopping. We dined at restaurant Cipasso, which showcased traditional Roman dishes like Apulian burrata, served with marinated anchovies and Bottarga mullet roe. I actually purchased some cured Bottarga roe after tasting it sprinkled over penne at a festival in Desolo. I am a sucker for fresh pasta with squid ink, and this linguine with langoustine tartare did not disappoint. Neither did the short pasta with amatriciana or pork cheek cooked in a Roman varietal of wine known as Cesanisi. Piglet cacciatore with roasted Roman broccoli and rosemary, and a unique take on beef and veal meatballs served with an aubergine reduction. The next day was our anniversary. I booked 2 reservations. For lunch, we dined at the 1-star Michelin restaurant Pergola. This was my favorite restaurant in Rome. None of the 10 courses disappointed. The amuse-bouche was a feast. The little burgers packed the flavor of a full-size burger, and oh my god, the olive oil. Magical. My 2 absolute favorite courses that blew me away were shrimp carpaccio with foie gras and onion gel, and the second was so amazing that I was considering asking the chef if I could stage there for a day just to learn how he made it. cuttlefish gnocchi, served with nduja, which is a spicy paste prepared from cured pork and peppers, and bagna quadda, a rich and flavorful Italian dipping sauce made with garlic, anchovies, olive oil, and butter. Bagna quadda means to bathe the tail, or in this case, bathe the gnocchi. The gnocchi was bound together with cuttlefish liver and almost no flour. I mean, this dish was unforgettable. The courses went on, and you really could not get enough of each. It is also the first time I had ever tasted this grape varietal, Fiano de Avellino, native to Campania. It was power-packed with buttery oakiness. I had never had a white wine as intense as a bold Amarone would be, and an Amarone is a red. That evening, we ate at another one-star Michelin, Pulejo. Pulejo did not disappoint either. From the homemade bread and butter to the amuse-bouche that could have been a meal on its own, razor clams and gremolata sauce, sea snails bourguignon with caviar, sweetbreads with smoked oyster sauce, pumpkin tortello with red shrimp and tangerine, lamb cannelloni with plums and sweet olive, grouper with béarnaise sauce, and one of the best apple tarte tatin I have ever eaten. When in Rome, expect to eat a lot. And also expect to walk it off. My watch clocked us at an average walking distance of 10 miles a day. And going from piazza to piazza was a thrill all on its own. Each piazza revealed another pleasant surprise. The last meal we enjoyed was at the famous La Pergola by executive chef Heinz Beck, who founded La Pergola over 25 years ago. It was the first restaurant in Rome to receive 3 Michelin stars in 2005, and to this day remains the only 3-star Michelin in Rome. Service and ambiance were impeccable. They even set off fireworks for our anniversary, I'm assuming. We were asked if we preferred still or sparkling water. After settling on still, we were handed a 15-page menu showcasing the world's most outstanding sources of water, categorized by the mineral content in parts per million. Check out this amuse-bouche. Our menu included marinated amberjack with grilled tropia onion, red shrimp with broccoli textures, mushroom fir tree oil and coffee vinegar, lobster with licorice extract over spinach and kidney beans, burnt grain taglioni with rabbit and sweet peppers, and the famous signature Fogatelli La Pergola. And there's a reason why this dish is famous. Chef Beck, instead of placing the Fogatelli on a bed of carbonara sauce, filled the Fogatelli with the carbonara. It bursts in your mouth like a mini soup dumpling. Absolutely outstanding. Crusted filet of sole with dehydrated citrus and parsley root. And then my second favorite entree of the evening was beet heart cooked in ash with a vegan yogurt and a black truffle. This was a superb vegan dish. Lamb on the Via Appia Antica, and for dessert, almond tangerine and prickly pear, and what was by far the star of the show, milk, biscuits, and coffee. This was served in a solid sterling silver chest. It had to weigh 5 pounds. It had a total of 12 drawers, 3 on each side, and each drawer had 2 mini morsels in it. One drawer was better than the next. In Italy, and for that matter most of Europe, whether you dine at a 3-star Michelin restaurant or pick up a quick bite on the street, the ingredients they use come from high-quality, delicious produce. Affordable and accessible agricultural produce for everyone at every price point. And I just don't understand why that isn't the commercial standard here in the United States. Now, maybe the future of agriculture should be to streamline small-scale production with a focus on quality rather than find cheaper ways to mass-produce inferior products. I do feel comfortable saying that Italy serves the best pasta in the world. Now, I haven't had olive oil in all of the places in the world that produce it, but I will repeat myself. Out of the ones I've had in Greece, Spain, and Italy, Italy has the best tasting olive oil I've ever had in their country. Maybe we can work on shipping some of that out. Now, believe it or not, the second best olive oil I've ever tasted is out of California from Hussery Olive Oil. It's unique, it's different, and it's delicious. I did a review about California olive oils in this playlist with other fun travel videos right here. What's the best olive oil you've ever had? Leave a comment and toss me a like, please. Cheers.